Welcome to the Santos Says podcast. I'm your host and your boy, Santos, proud owner of Santos Threads. Make sure you guys check us out at Santos-Threads for the latest and greatest in urban sportswear apparel for men and for women. T-shirts, jerseys, shorts, custom apparel, especially from the Santos Threads brand. Make sure you check us out at SANTOS-THREADS.com. So welcome everybody to episode number 9. Time goes by fast when you're having fun. And right here today on this episode, I'm having a special guest on here. This is a man who made history, but one of the greatest MCs to ever touch the mic. I'm talking about Cuban Link. This episode is going to be with Cuban Link, man. We're going to talk about his history, talk about his career, some of the things he's done in his career, rolling around with the Terror Squad, with the legendary, late, great Christopher Lee Rios, a.k.a. Big Moondog, a.k.a. Big Pun, and the whole Terror Squad representing New York, Bronx, New York, representing the Latino movement, and of course representing Cuba. His whole story from being born in Cuba to coming over in the Mariel boat lift in the 80s, growing up in the Bronx, where the Bronx was pretty much like a crazy place to grow up at that time. So we're going to get into it. We're going to interview him, get his thoughts on just his career, you know, as far as where he's been in his career, get his perspective, catch up to him, see what's going on with him now. Talk a little bit about, obviously, when we talk about Cuban Link, we got to mention Pun. So we'll talk about some of his thoughts with Pun. I wanted to make sure we talked about a couple different things in comparison to other interviews, because I know some of the interviews he's seen, they've gotten into some of the old interviews that he's done. He's gotten into some of the same stuff. So we'll touch some of those familiar topics, but at the same time, we'll try to switch it up a little bit as well. I also want to get his thoughts on what's going on right now in his country, which is Cuba. See what's going on with him. Just get his thoughts, his opinion as far as what's going on out there, the temperature, checking the temperature on the whole situation out there in Cuba. And obviously, as everyone knows, Cuba's going through a situation right now. You know, the people are demanding their freedom, not only obviously over there on the island, but as well as stateside. The United States, in Europe, in Spain, different countries around the world, the entire universal Cuban community globally are demanding their rights and are demanding independence for their nation, for the great tradition-rich, beautiful country that is Cuba. So we'll get his thoughts on that. I'm really curious to know, get his take on that, and as far as what he would do, you know, as far as just what his opinion is on what's going on right now, and just kind of getting a feel for what he thinks of the whole situation, and kind of like what would he prefer go down as far as an outcome out there in Cuba. What would he think would be a resolution to the whole situation that's going on right now? As we know right now, this is the cusp of another revolution, pretty much. And it's gotten worldwide attention, rightly so. And I'm curious to and I'm very much looking forward to talking with him and really figuring out, getting his point of view on the whole situation. So we'll get into all that and more on episode number 9 of the Santos Says podcast. So right now we're waiting for Cuba to get into the studio. And so until he does, I just wanted to talk about a couple things real quick. So you guys make sure you follow me on social media, on Instagram, Santos Thread Shop. That's my Instagram. So Santos Thread Shop, SANTOSTHREADSSHOP. That is my Instagram. Definitely curious for your thoughts as far as what's going on in this whole situation with Cuba, SOS Cuba. Definitely, that's the movement right now. Definitely interact with me on there, as well as on Facebook at Santos Threads Official, SANTOS THREADS OFFICAL. Excuse me. That's the Facebook. Rarely on there, but again, I am, in this day and age, you need to have multiple social media platforms to engage with your audience. So very much looking forward to your takes. Everyone out there, the audience, people on the YouTube world, whether you see me on the YouTube, Santos, the Santos Says podcast, YouTube, or whether you are listening on Spotify, Stitcher, Amazon Music, and Apple Music. And away we go. So we're looking forward to kicking it with Cuban Link and really getting into a couple of these topics. So let me double check to see where he's at. Definitely, we expect him to be on pretty soon. So I just want to double check with him, see where he's at, and away we go, man. I looking forward to kicking it with him, and just looking. Just we'll see as far as where he's at, man, because it's interesting because obviously just talking about his situation, he's had a great career as far as what he's done. Just thinking about where he's coming from. Just coming from that camp, right? The Terror Squad camp, where I know growing up as a kid, they were highly influential in a lot of what I did growing up as a teenager. Certainly just seeing them, I can remember how much pride, the great sense of pride I had as a Puerto Rican, as a Latino growing up in New York, seeing that group come out. It was like a hurricane, it was amazing. Like just to see what the Terror Squad did as a child, and just seeing that movement come up for me, it was just so. And I just finished my thought real quick. I see Cuban Link there pulling up, and it was great to see that. And actually, it was amazing. It was an amazing feeling just seeing that camp coming up. And I know they were highly inspirational for myself and other people like myself. So without further delay, I want to welcome to the show one of the legends in this game, hip hop heavyweight, one of the all-time greats, great lyricist, underrated, certainly underrated pedigree. One of the greats, not just great Latinos, great MCs in the history of the game. Mr. Felix Delgado himself, also known as from the Bronx and from Cuba, representing Cuban Link.
Yes, sir. You see me?
It's good to see you, Cuban, man. I appreciate you coming through. I know that we had that's what's up, my brother. I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you coming on, man. Welcome to Santos Says, man. I appreciate you pulling up and keeping it real.
You already know, man. And my bad about the mix-up yesterday, man. I couldn't apologize, a million times for it.
It's water under the bridge, my brother. 100%. And it is water under the bridge. You know what I mean? It's all good. I understand. I appreciate you coming out, and really we talked, and that's between us. We good. Okay.
No doubt.
It's all good. It's all good, man. So welcome to the show. I appreciate you. Listen, it's an honor to have you on here, man. This guy right here, for those of you who don't know, this man right here really, he inspired me in a lot of ways, because like I used to rap, right? I used to rap a long time ago. You made people want to rap. You and the Terror Squad made people want to rap, right? And so it's a crazy thing, right? I used to memorize your verses. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, I used to memorize your verses at age 14, 15. I memorized your verse. I mean, the off the books verse was one of those and all that. But certainly, we'll talk a little bit. I got a story for you before we get into it. I got a story for you. You're not gonna remember. Because I know you run into like 1,000 people, right? So,
if it's memorable, I might just remember, man.
All right, my brother. Check this out. I'm gonna take you back to 2005.
Okay.
So the year,
MOB Records.
We're talking about MOB Records. We're talking about you may not realize this, maybe you do. You were really the buzz. That was to me the most underrated time of your career. Nobody talks about that time. Everybody talks about Terror Squad. Bro, your MOB run was very underrated. And
Yes,
I'll
it was.
explain. I met you in real life. I was there. I was a young kid. I went to school around the corner, John Jay. I had on a green and white Mets hat. At that time, you had this Italian rapper named Figaro.
Oh yes, yes sir. Yes, sir.
Figaro, I know that I heard about that story. We could talk about that later if you want.
He's a defector, yeah.
Right, defector, right? So you and I, we had this. So you were super dope. First of all, you were super humble. You signed your Broken Chains mixtape that you made with Dren Star. I remember that mixtape. My brother, you signed it for me. And it was like I met you. I remember you were smoking a stogie. You may not remember me, and it's okay. I remember you, okay? And you signed that mixtape for me, and it was as if we known each other for years. But I wasn't on no groupie shit. I was, you know what I mean? I was respectful because I know you guys get hounded. So I was always, you know what I mean? I had the presence of mind and respect. But you signed it for me. Figaro signed something for me, right? It's whatever. He's Figaro.
Yeah, he was an upcoming. You know, I try to. He was actually somebody that you know, his talent. I could have sharpened up his talent, and that's what we was doing. He was part of the Cuban Link, the Chain Gang, and you know, he was good, man. In the beginning, he came in through good pipelines, but se dañó, you know.
Se dañó, huh? No, claro, se dañó, and you know, look, it was crazy. But I feel like that time. I remember I was at 106 in Park, so that's what I was there. I was there in the audience, and in between, I was finished with classes, right? John Jay.
Oh, with Roxy.
No, it was it Roxy at that time, or I don't remember.
Yeah,
Free was still there. Yeah, it was Roxy. It was Roxy. It was when Free just left. Free just bounced, and I remember.
I just met Roxy, and we actually chilled, and you know, she was a cool person.
Yeah, absolutely. And your buzz.
No. You might be no. You might.
Or was it Julissa?
It was, yes. You know what it was? It was the beginning when they was actually auditioning for the new cast in 106 in Park, and Roxy had to go and do the tryouts, and then she got it later. But yeah, it was the ones right before Roxy. Right. You're right.
Right. Yeah. It was that transition. It must have been like their last year there, though. It was their last run. It was their last run. And you guys were giving out mixtapes like crazy. And that mixtape, look, you had a nice little buzz with that mixtape. Like you had joints on there, like you had the hotel joint, you had the what is it from NYC to and what is it from MIA to NY?
Wow.
My name is C. U to the B-A. Bro, listen, y'all couldn't tell me nothing, bro. I'm telling you, I know my shit, bro. I'm telling you, I know my shit. So, like,
that's a Chain Gang bully, actually.
And yeah, you told the story about how you hung people off the balcony and shit like that, and you had DJs running for cover, you know.
Oh man, that was it. That was that time. That was that time that I actually, it was wartime. It was right after, you know, the whole. It's when I got my second deal, so I had to come strong. I had to come, you know, letting the people know that, you know what I'm saying, it's Cuban Link without the Terror Squad this time, and you know, I could hold my own. You know what I'm saying, lyrically, physically, you know what I'm saying, spiritually. So that was a whole the detachment, but also it was, you know, it was independent investors that came in. So you know. It's not like people that were, you know, saying too much music savvy, but they had the, you know, they had to believe in me, and they also had the paper to put behind me. But once again, it was a little regao, because it was a lot of mix up of you know, they trying to make me patch, you know, things up with the industry, and it's like, listen, I have no problem with anybody, man. It's them who has a problem with me, and they use that excuse, you know, and it translated into business, and that's what's messed up about that. But you know, it was a lot of you know, not understanding by between the label and myself, and I tried to tell them, you know, we're gonna go head up, like we're supposed to go head up, and do what we need to do and establish everything we need to do, establish it ourselves, or we're gonna be down with the industry and let them rape us, let them, you know, overcharge us for what they did to the Cold Crush. So you know what I'm saying, that's what they did. They chose to go to, you know, through the industry part, and you know, some people that we hired wasn't good, you know what I'm saying, and that's what it was. So this is where we are today, you know. that made me understand that if I love this music and I want to come out with a Cuban Link album again, I'm gonna have to do it myself independently, but with me at the driver's wheel and nobody else.
I feel, yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because I felt like you had that, like you had so many starts and stops in your
Yeah.
career. And I mean that, and I don't mean that like in any kind of way, I'm saying like is the truth.
No,
Like
in
you've had,
reality,
because yeah, reality. Like you had like that run right there. You realize that was when reggaeton was taking off, right? And you had that song with Don Omar, who was like the hottest thing
that's
in the game at that time, right? And
and yep,
you
exactly,
had the
exactly. And
foresight to make,
you see
yeah.
Joe, and then you seen Joe and Nori with the Latino. They did that with Don Omar,
Right.
and that took actually the impulse that I should have been having with Scandalous with Don Omar, because mine was like, okay, I spit the English verses, and he spits the Spanglish hook, and we united backwards. You know what I'm saying, with the English, the hip hoppers, and those are like lyrics, and they could actually solidify the reggaeton on that level where it's like, okay, this time it's English lyrical rhymes, and with that reggaeton beat. But he's killing it. He's telling the story, and it's lyrical and it's danceable, and it's just that whole thing. We had it planned out, and it's just like I told you, man. When they decided to go to the industry, and the industry they fumbled, man. They did it on purpose too. I know they did.
And,
You know what I'm saying? But it's all good. It's all good. Learning it was an experience, and I'm proud of that album actually.
the great
But
album. It's a very good album. The Selena Johnson joint too. That's one of my favorites. Like that song got me. I'll be honest with you. That song got me through some tough days. Like I used to put that song on, and like I would, you kind of channel like an inner Pac. There's a little Pac in you in there, but it's your own. You know what I mean? It's your own style. But you got a little. I felt that joint. Like that got me through some tough days. Like honestly
yeah, no,
speaking.
to this day, the Flowers for the Dead is a joint that they always compare it to the voice of Pac. When I'm on my relaxed voice with the deepness like this, talking naturally, that Pac essence definitely comes out. The reality, you know what I'm saying, the passion, you know what I'm saying, and the inspirational songs. I definitely was a student of Pac under that. You know what I'm saying, like when he did Hey Mama, and not to do, I always wanted to do a song for my mother. So
Right.
way back before he did Hey Mama, because I was a fan of hip hop, but I was also I was writing back then. And Hey Mama, I did that way before even, what I'm saying, I even got a deal. So, that was inspired by just the Scarface scene, when, his mother was
Right.
like,
Right.
he's no
Right.
good.
Well, it has
That's
the
why,
sample. It has the sample from that scene. It does too. Yeah. When
yes,
Miriam Colon. Miriam Colon actually, God bless her, was an who played Montana's mother,
yep,
Puerto Rican actress, legendary actress.
legendary.
Yeah, and she
Yep,
was
yep.
there.
So that's what inspired me, besides the fact that, of course, that movie, Scarface, is the closest, you know, uh, film, or that's caught on film, that relates to the actual, where I came from, which is the Mariel. That it's not that it's a true story, but it is a classic moment in time that 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 movement, or that whole the Marielitos
Yeah.
uh, passed through, that became
Well,
like
that happened. People don't
yeah,
realize.
that's
See,
real.
I read a lot. Like I'm a history buff, right? That happened. Like a lot of that happened. I've heard you talk about it as well. Like a lot of people don't understand that they literally opened up the prisons and they sent. I'm not obviously not saying your family's a bunch of crazies, but I'm saying like they sent a lot of them. The majority were not working class people, but rather people that they either dissed out of society or were imprisoned. People that just
Well,
opened
not
up
the
the
majority,
cages.
not
Not
the
no, well,
majority.
not a good amount. They wanted to get rid of them.
It was 140,000 that came. At least 20 to 30,000 was straight out of jail. Let them niggas run loose, and to get rid of them, to let them handle them, because I'm saying, at the end of the day, it's better if your country be from those kind of, what I'm saying, individuals, because they're headaches, and they're criminals, and they're crazy. So that's what he did. He opened up the gates, and he let them in with all the regular, rest of the people that wanted to get some freedom. What I'm saying, that came to America to change their life, and saying, look better for their kids. So that's what it was. And then you let people like that inside anywhere. Uh, they're gonna take over anything, and that's what it was. their mannerisms, their behavior were looked at more than the regular good people that came to you know what I'm saying, to change their lives and live the American dream. Those people were the ones that fought the armed forces. When we was in the campos. Like the thing
Right.
about moment. Do you hear me?
Yeah. I hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. So the thing about Scarface is that it actually depicted the moments from the beginning with the boats, how they arrived from El Mariel Harbor in Cuba, from Cuba all the way to Key West, because that's where we landed. And then you remember when he said, "Oh, okay, I told you to ask them for a sanitarium, not sanitation." That's
Right.
and it goes into that yellow school buses.
Right.
That's really actual scenes. That's
Real
what we
stuff.
had to
Yeah,
go
it's
through.
real shit.
From Key West, they had mad buses and like yellow school buses that carried us all the way to under the bridge, 95 bridge in Miami.
Yep.
That's where they had the
I-95.
campo,
Yep.
and that's where they had the campo set up. Where they stabbed Revenga for
Revenga.
real.
Right.
Yeah, that really happened with where all those they was hitting us with the water hoses and all of that, because the criminals in there formed there was like revolting because they had us in there so long that they were making, like they were just wilding out, like flipping on the Marines and the Army, and the Army started flipping back. And that's where all of, like when Revenga got hit, that's when you see La Huelga in there, and they
Yeah.
stabbed him, and everybody was on fire and stuff. So see that it captivated the ambience, the real ambience, and the sequence of how the Mariel was. So that's why it's so relatable to me. Not that much that it was a criminal that made it in selling drugs. You know what I'm saying? It was deeper than that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the story, just the Mariel. The Mariel has history. There's a lot of families who came here through the Mariel, and unfortunately, because of also the other part of the, Scarface, unfortunately, is that they thought everybody was like that, right?
And that's the
That
bad
was
part
not the
about it
right.
too. That's
That
about
wasn't the
it.
majority.
And that's the bad part too, because at the end of the day, Scarface is a classic movie, but it's the villains. You know what I'm saying? It's the villain
Yeah,
that you're rooting for. So when it first came out, I remember. I mean, it got horrible reviews, and
yeah.
the Cuban people was kind of protesting it because it was like it was giving a bad name to the Cuban people. So yeah, it was that type of movie, man, where it's like you have to appreciate it later on in life. You know what I'm saying? And it
You
caught the
couldn't
Cuban.
do that today.
No,
You
you
couldn't do
couldn't.
that today. You know how many Cuban politicians they have come up since then in Miami?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
the Cubans have, Cuban Americans hold more weight now than they ever did.
Of
That's
course
the
they did.
fact.
No, that's a fact in Miami, and you see how they're up there. They're up there with the Republican
Yeah.
movement. They're out there. They're in politics. They're trying to lead, because that's just that's the Cuban mentality. I mean, at the end of the day, shoot for the stars once you land here. You know, especially if you was born out there and you see
Yeah.
the opportunity that's out here. But yeah, I'm proud of my people, man. I'm proud of my people. I'm so it's sad, of course, what's going on right now over there. And you know, it's about time. It's about time. Like I said before, like Fidel got rid of so many people back then in the Mariel that was that might have what I'm saying might have been able to so hard headed and so gangster that they might have did what he did to Cuba, how he took over. They might have did that shit to him. So he just got rid of all of that, man. And he made sure that the rest were people that he could captivate with his words, and those that actually were representing him and the movement, the
Well,
revolution.
he had this. He was good. Like
Oh,
bro,
he was great at that.
he was great with his mouth, bro. He had Harlem, bro. He went to Harlem. When he went to Harlem, he had everybody like this in his pocket.
But
Charming.
the thing about Fidel is that he's another one. He went to school out here in Yale
Yeah.
University.
Super
You know what I'm
smart.
saying? He went to Yale University, one of the top schools out here in America. And then he goes and he goes and he gets up with the seven freedom fighters. And he assembles that crew and he takes over Cuba. But then he has the most beef with the Cuba with America.
With America, it's bugged out. Yeah.
And it is when you go deep into politics and the knowledge of what he wanted, the freedom. Because one thing is to have freedom, and one thing is to be overlooked by your parent liberator. Fidel wanted that control of freedom, you know, uh, to be Cuban,
Right.
even though it was communism. Even though he had a lot of plans and agendas behind it that he showed later, but in the beginning, that idea seemed so great because the independence of Cuba, of it being ran by itself, it having the the natural resources to sustain itself, it could have did it. But
they didn't develop yet. It didn't come to fruition yet. It was still underdeveloped. At that time, you see, what you say is true, and I'm not condoning one side or the other, to be clear. Right. I want to make that clear, right? What I'm saying is that I'm being objective. The Cuba, and you know the story, I'm sure, Bautista had the American gangsters, the mob in Havana, basically pimping that shit out. They were pimping out Havana.
Yeah,
people don't talk about that.
Yeah, no, that he sold out to that, to that side, which is still corrupt. You know what I'm saying? We're still the mob, and it's still within criminals, and that means he had a price. Batista had a price.
There was a price, yeah.
And he sold out. He sold his country out by selling himself out. He sold the country out, and that's what the beautiful thing about the Fidel, coming in and reinstalling that honor, that respect, and that values of the Cuban people of hardworking, and taking from the rich. All of that seemed great back then. You know what I'm saying? Taking from the rich and give it to the poor, and everybody, within the same regimen. Well, everybody gets the same thing, but they didn't see okay, we all get the same thing. I know Fidel, my nigga, but you are living homie. You know what I'm saying? All that shit is great. You can dress up with the fucking with the army jacket and the army suit all day.
Yeah, the fatigues.
Pero qué pasa, papi? Porque la patria mía se está rompiendo de adentro afuera. But why is no renovations in the buildings and its in infrastructure? Why are you not spending
los carros, aeropuerto?
Everything's time stood still once Fidel took over. Time stood still, and some people appreciate that about Cuba. I mean, I don't.
I understand because you get it, because you came from there. Even though you came here young. Remember when I was 5, I arrived in America, made it a live survivor, head of a trip, kid. I'm telling you.
Yeah, headed for Freedom Town to put my feet on the ground. Look around, lock shit
down like Nino Brown. I'm bombed by honor, and down for drama like Tony Montana. I know. I'm telling you, Mira. I know, bro. I know. Trust me. Yep. I wanna hold the rest of the Cuba part. Not to cut you off, I want to hold that part because I want to get your thoughts on what's going on now and everything. So in a few minutes, I want to get to that. I just want to make sure I got to talk about your music. I got to talk about, but I'm going to do it in a way that is not redundant. I've seen like 1 million of your interviews, right? And I'm not blaming anybody, the interviewer. They doing what they have to do. But I just want to make my show different. So, you know what I mean? So like, so we'll do this, right? Because we know a lot of people know your origins, know where you came from. We knew you came from the TS camp, all that stuff. So I'm going to get into this as far as like, I want to talk. All right, we'll start with 24 Karat, right? 24K. I don't want to talk about the event that happened. We know what happened, right? I want to talk about the event that prevented it from coming out, right? That album, gun to your head, does that album go platinum if it actually releases?
I think it would have. I think to me, being,
you cutting out a little bit.
At least I think for gold. As far as like I mean, you gotta understand that that's when Pun passed also. So Flowers for the Dead was written before it passed.
That blew my mind when I heard that story. That blew my mind because it's sad because it's almost like it was meant to be that way. If that makes sense. Right. You know what I mean?
And the scariest part ever is me predicting something like that, subconsciously about my best friend. I never had lost nobody, that was close to me there. And the first verse that I wrote, that was just like that, the way I described the scene about if my man would have, if I would have lost my man, this is how
it was a general song. Yeah, it was a general joint. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, but it's just that. But to me, to you is even crazy that I did that, but to me it's even crazier how I predicted the actual my state of mind, my state how I would have felt, and it came to life, and that's what's crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's something that is you know, you think about it and be like, damn, I wish. What about if I didn't? You know, wrote that song, would still played out the way it would have. But you know, of course, you know, we can't predict that type of shit. But it's just that closeness, that friendship. Even in my subliminal mind, I'm thinking about my brother because the love was that strong, and it just played out like that, man. And it's a beautiful story at the end of the day. I know it's definitely sad, you know what I'm saying, and all of that, because we have to go through the sadness to really see, you know, the actual impact of it. And you know, I always took it so personal between me and Pun, which it was. You know what I'm saying? We was friends for real before the music, and that was my buddy, that was my best friend, that was my brother. So the fact that, you know, the love that he gave me show, you know, help open up a door for the people also to see my talent, because if it was up to Joe, we would have never been part of that still, you know. And you know,
it's well known. It's well known that you guys were not gonna be. You guys were not on the radar. You guys were not for a lack of talent. It was more because he didn't have the vision. Because let's keep it 100. And it's interesting. This ties back to what you said as far as, remember what they doing the reggaeton and Joe and stuff. Joe was like the most non-Hispanic Latino that ever lived at that time. He was not embracing his culture like that. Let's keep it a buck. He was not. He wasn't doing the Spanglish shit. You guys were. It was full of clips. It was full of clips.
Yeah, but I'm the one who always got the, you know, I got the motherfucking repercussions when of being a little too Spanishy in that crew. You know what I'm saying?
No such thing.
So, yeah, I know that. I knew that because I know where I come from. I know, you know what I'm saying, what I'm repping.
And I'm sure Pun in his heart didn't feel like that either, because Pun used to drop.
No.
Yeah, Pun was very proud of his roots. Like, Pun was like,
proud.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Extra proud. That nigga, he didn't know a lick of Spanish like that, but you got to tell him he's Boricua. He's not New Yorican at all. He was Boricua, 100%. That nigga will rep it to the death, and he'll tell you, I don't give a fuck if I don't know Spanish. I am Boricua. 100% de pura cepa.
That's it.
That was
in his blood.
That's the orgullo he had. But when it came to like the hip hop part of it, you know what I'm saying? Pun always took us. Pun used to, you know, he knew I was the only, like the one that knew the Spanish for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's my first language.
Yeah, you were fluent, right? I think Sage too, though. I think Sage defends himself too, though. I think for what I've heard.
Yeah, but read out. But Sage is another one. He was raised out here. So his mom's, of course, you know what I'm saying? They got the roots, and his father, he was raised in a household where they talk Spanish, but he never really, he was born out here. You know what I'm saying? So he was talking English first. But he definitely got the roots of the, you know, Santo Domingo. But, you know, I really came to talking Spanish all day. You know what I'm saying? And things like that. So, oh shit. Okay, look at this. Look at this. Wait a minute, man.
Yeah.
Are you gonna hit for the fucking? Cabrón. Wait. Ya ve. Mira. Lo cogí. Yo estoy aquí, mira. No lo cogí, ¿no?
As Cuban takes care of his situation on us over there. Definitely. Yo, he's about to go fishing. Whoa.
No, I am fishing.
Cuban Link drops a lot of videos fishing on Instagram. We've seen these.
I am a fisherman. But I just had one, my nigga. That shit was fucking ringing like dinner time. Y ahora se me fue. Cabrón, se me fue. All right, let's put it back. Let's go back to the interview. I wanted to show you a nice little fish out here, but okay, I guess we have to let it go down again. But anyway, my brother, yes, I was the Spanish guy, you know, in the whole, you know, in the Terror Squad, where Pun used to come and ask me for Spanish words. You understand? So I was the Spanish dictionary at the end of the day. And I mean, we came from an era where hip hop, it was no color. You know what I'm saying? It was no color. It was about hot ass lyrics. It was about you know, it was about unity. So
you had to bring it. It was talent. It was talent.
And we wasn't really coming out as the, you know, Latino rappers. You know, we was coming in as the just, you know, the rappers.
Pun used to say that a lot. Yo, Pun, I've seen a lot of interviews with Pun. Pun said that a lot. You're right. Yo,
Yeah.
you are 100%. He said that. He said, I ain't trying to be the nicest Latino rapper. I'm trying to be the nicest rapper. He said
That's
that.
right. And that's what he did. And of course, you know, the business is the one that separates and divides. And of course, we have to take pride on who we are. So we are glad to be one of the, you know, Spanish uh, people, rappers, MCs that really came and put it down for the Latino. You know, life, that's life, man. You know what I'm saying? Latinos played a role before, like, let's just say before Pun, where Latinos were all, you know, mostly known for graffiti, breakdancing. They were the kings of that.
100%. 100%. 100%. And
Then
on the West Coast, they were known for basically, you know, artwork, you know, graffiti. They did a lot of graffiti, tats, you know.
yep,
But
tats,
yeah,
yeah, cars, Lolos, and all that.
cars, yeah. That's part of the culture too. Absolutely. Yeah,
Yep. So
the Chicanos deserve a spot. Yeah, definitely for sure.
of course, the Chicanos,
Love to the Chicanos for real.
They earned this spot. They took it. You know what I'm
Yep,
saying? At the end of the
absolutely.
day, it was Chicanos on the west, and it was, you know, the reggaetoneros on the right. You know, the Bicosís and all of that. They doing their things in Spanish. It was always different in hip hop, but at the same time, it was part of hip hop. It was just not blended in the right way yet, and that's what it is. You know, when the Tegos came out, you know, the Don Omar's, uh, really, that's when, you know what I'm saying, it got close to where Americans started just loving, you know what I'm saying,
They
the
embraced
Spanish.
it. They embraced it. Yeah.
They embraced it a little more and all of that. But of course, when we came out, also, I mean, when Pun broke through, that was the Latino movement of the whole. You know, that was a big moment. That also is when Ricky Martin got the Grammy.
I was
Jennifer
thinking the
Lopez
same
was
thing. Yeah.
popping.
Yo, see what you mentioning
So
right now. I'm glad you brought that up because 1999, obviously Pun in 98, but 1998 from 98 to 99, that was such a huge year in transition in America, crossing over with Latinos, with Ricky Martin, like you said. Even Enrique Iglesias, you know, he's from Spain, but we'll count him as well because it was, you know, Spanish speaking doing English music, right? So you guys obviously Terror Squad album in 99, right? Jennifer Lopez, that whole the Selena movie came out that year.
we set that off. We set
Y'all
that off.
set that
We set
off.
that off.
Yeah.
We set that off. We did. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it was a beautiful thing when we came through like that. We represented the unity, the talent, you know, a different,
Oh, you're cutting out a little bit.
a different kind of Spanish,
There you go.
a different kind of Spanish monster that now deserves to touch that mic because of Pun, the way he spit, the way, you know what I'm saying, his lyricism was, his lyrical content, his approach, his flow, his his everything. When it, you know, of hip hop, made the top MCs, which were black and always were black to me. You know what I'm saying? The top MCs, the
Of
gods
course,
of
no,
these,
absolutely,
them
100%.
the
Yeah.
mics. You know what I'm saying?
Latinos weren't touching the mic like that
I-
yet. Remember, we weren't on the mic like that yet.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Pun did that. Pun gave. He raised the bar to the point of getting a Spanish dude to get respected behind that mic. Pun did that, and you know, that was something that we was always looking forward to, because that's what the difference between us and everybody else was, that we came from the actual, you know, the corners of where hip hop was invented.
Exactly.
We're a different race, but we know how to fuck with it as good as the top MC in whatever color he was, you know, and represent it and you know, put it on our back and make sure that the next person understands the format, the culture of hip hop, from graffiti to b-boying to breakdancing to just fashion and to spitting the mic, spitting on that mic, grabbing that mic and you know, becoming a master of ceremonies. You know what I'm saying? Like Rakim said. So and those are actually our teachers. You know what I'm saying? When we came up, the Rakims, the you know, the Slick Ricks, the Canes, you know, the
G
Pacs, the
Rap,
later
man.
on.
G Rap, man.
G Rap number one.
Rap gotta be
G Rap
gotta
number
be the
one.
biggest influence. I
Yeah,
hear it
yeah.
like
So
you hear G Rap.
all day, all day. Like, me and Pun G rap all day. He loved Rakim better though. You know what I'm saying? That was his favorite artist until later on when I started putting him up to the like the new G rap joints at the time, like you know what I'm saying, on a run and things like that. Then he changed his mind a little because just the format that G rap was just he was
Oh,
incredible
G-Rap.
with the format G rap was. He was just like Rakim took a little long to get to the meat. Like you gotta admire the whole thing, and you have to have
Nas,
a
see, when I think of Rakim, I think Nas is a student of Rakim.
yeah,
Like
but
Nas is Rakim.
and
Just
Nas is a
at the
different.
highest level. He's higher right now. I'm sorry to say, no disrespect to Rakim. Nas is higher than Rakim. I have to say,
Well, he was he's a poet. Yes, they're both poets in their own uh they're poets. They're poets in their own rights. You know what I'm saying? But Nas is the Nas is that he's that poet, man. He was for our era. He was definitely that young poet that took the baton from a Rakim, even from a little Kane involved in
yeah,
it
Lil
too.
Kane there
And,
too. Yeah, I could hear the
he,
influence.
he took it to the next level and represented it right. But he's his own monster.
Oh,
He's
of
his
course, he's got
own
his own
monster.
style. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, he's his
Everybody
own
needs to
monster.
be influenced by somebody. That's how it works. You
Yeah,
know?
that's how hip hop always worked.
Yeah,
You know, and I'm sure the Rakims and the G Raps, you know, there was a inspired by the Furious Five, you know,
yes,
by the
yes.
Coke and all of them. You know, so at the end of the day, it's a baton that and the unity of hip hop that has been passed on, and that's why it was been able always to be relatable to the people, and it's always been preserved as as his own language and his own culture, and it comes from nothing into something, and those are the qualities that make hip hop, what it is. But when you put the money behind it, the corporations, and turn it into a hollow industry where the lyrics ain't believable anymore. And,
Yeah.
and it's almost like a MC machine that's being made and processed where everybody can bite.
Well,
Now the
hundred
rules
percent,
are
hundred
not like,
percent.
what I'm saying, the rules are not the same.
No,
They forgot
no
the rules.
lyricism
The bite,
necessary. No lyricism
right?
necessary. No
Well, the
authenticity
main one,
necessary.
it's like the Gremlin movies. Like
Right,
the little
right,
nigga that
right.
was
Yeah,
cute.
yeah, yeah.
The little nigga with the little nigga Gizmo came with
Gizmo.
rules, my nigga. This
Mm-hmm.
nigga's beautiful. He's a little fucking bye, Billy. Beautiful little fucking little bear. But if you fucking don't follow the rules, this nigga turns into a beast and fucking ugliest shit in the world and
Yeah.
tries to destroy everything around it. So that's the same thing with hip hop. Like, it was no biting allowed ever. It was hip hop is made because you come with your own, your own shit.
Your own
You
shit.
can't be biting, my nigga.
Hundred
You
percent.
can't be biting. You know what I'm saying? Originality is number one. It was always number one in hip hop, and that's what that's what would keep the culture, of course, you know, uh, accelerating and going to the next millennium. And that stopped. That stopped when
It did stop.
there
Yeah.
was no punishment for the actual biting. When the radio stations just said, you know what, okay, I'll take the money instead of the ethics in hip hop, and just start playing the songs, sound the same. It didn't matter. So, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't about really too much of the meaning no more. It was about that money, and when money gets involved, that's what it does. And the essence is always going to be there.
Yeah,
The
you're
art
gonna have
form is
real
there.
artists.
Yeah, and I hate to separate things, because at the end of the day, it's hip hop to me. It's my lifestyle. It's my music to me. It's part of my life, and I'm just that type of artist that I always came out and I expressed. I gave the people. I'm like an open book, which is I let people in my life and I let them in my life. So we share that bond. So when I speak and I write my music, I do it from a believable point where that I'm telling you a true story, or I'm telling you something with passion, so you could understand the devotion I have for the game, uh, the meaning of my words, when how I paint words, how I put it to a song, and go to make a beautiful sketch of my theory, my idea for the fans and for the consumer to enjoy. You know what I'm saying? Still with the '90s. Of course, I got I'm always have that '90s mentality where
because it's your era. It's your era.
and
That's why
it's the
you're gonna be.
golden
Yeah,
era.
it is. It is. I agree with that. Nah, 100%. It is. It is the golden era, and it's interesting you bring that up. So, like, what I wanted to talk about also, because I know that you've had your you've had your ups and downs. I know. I remember. I'm gonna bring up a name, right? I remember you had this issue with Angie Martinez, right?
Right.
Um, and obviously she wasn't Terror Squad, but she was like basically like an unofficial Terror Squad member, right? So
Well, to me,
in a way,
she was the one that was to me, because at the end of the day, she was a friend of mine without I like to say without business involved. You know what I'm saying? I liked her as a person. She enjoyed my company, and she was just cool. We were just cool. And at the time, I was married, so it's not like it was anything that was beyond business or music. It was just great connection to have. You know what I'm saying? To add her to the team. That was one of my ideas. But then, at the time, Joe didn't want her really to, to come in like that because
really,
yeah, because
was it that he didn't believe? You see, because I know at that time you got to remember, and I know you know this. She was at the station, but she wasn't what she became later. So obvious, you know what I mean? She didn't have the pull she had later on. So at that time, she wasn't who she became. So what I'm saying is, it had to be because he didn't believe in her, I guess, as an artist, right? Because she used to do music.
Well, he also looked at it also like, she's a stranger. She didn't come in with us. Now, she wants to get, attached to somebody, the Spanish guys, so she could, what I'm saying, take her image.
Right. Okay, I got
Joe
you.
always was the type to always make it look like, other people are munching off of us because, he was proud of what we all built. That's what I thought.
Right, and rightly so. Rightly so. As far as being proud, yeah, that's rightly so.
Yeah, and we worked hard. We did. We went, in the trenches, and Angie Martinez wasn't one of the helpers that really made us get out there. So, at the end of the day, I understood that part. But it also now, when I look backwards, it's been like she was my friend, and I brought her in. So it might have been like her loyalty was towards me, because at the end of the day, she was still now like after all that happened with me, Joe and her became more friendly than ever.
Right, I remember.
All
of a sudden, it's like you didn't exist. You didn't exist. That's it. She chose a side, and that was it. Yeah, I remember that.
Well, she chose the side, and the fix was in. She didn't care. They play in that business where it's like the business of the industry. I was never playing the game of the industry. I had genuine, love for the people I hung out with. Actually, the reason about Angie really that disappointed me was because when it happened, when all that thing happened with me, when I got cut in my face, which happened in Jimmy's, it was her. It was her album release.
Album release, yep. I remember that song, the Jimmy's, that one, that joint.
It was actually,
and then the real place, yeah.
But it was actually her album release party that we attended, and it was actually, her day. So I went on stage for her. That thing, that happened there. That fight happened there. But at the end of the day, she had Joe the next week explaining what happened in Jimmy's between me and him. She had him on Hot 97.
Bro, let me tell you, it's interesting you bring that up. Not to cut you off. Just while I have it in my mind, bro, I was coming out of school. I rushed to my radio and I heard this joint. I was a student, right? I literally, when this was happening, I probably was in 8th grade. And I was, yo, my man, I remember this. No, not even. I was in high school, probably 9th grade, right? I was listening to this shit. And I remember that interview, bro, fondly.
There you go. Go. So what I'm saying is that now I have no problem with that. But I have a problem if you don't invite me now. And I'm the one who fought for you when other people.
To speak so you feel like she should have allowed you a platform to speak on it. Yeah.
Keep it fair. You know what I'm saying? Keep it fair. And she didn't do that. And that right there, like, people gonna show you who they are. You know what I'm saying? She let that go. She let that happen, knowing the story, because me and her chilled after all of that, and I explained the story. But she still did that, and I didn't get my chance now to say my piece.
Yeah.
And it's been like that. It's been like that since back then, because I guess whatever it was, Joe could I guess, gas them to keep the business with him and forget about me because I wasn't that important, whatever it was. Because he was the leader and he was the one handling the business, and he's the one who got all the merits and all the perks of being Pun's manager. Pun's the one who brought out Pun to the world. So he got a lot of business power behind that. Pun sold 3 million albums. So as far as like the industry, the way they looked at Joe, it was with much respect because to the industry, Joe was the one who took.
He was the broker. He was the power broker. He was the
the
power.
one.
He had the name. He was the power broker.
Yeah, he was the coach. He was the one that what I'm saying. The one that and he was.
Very right.
He did a lot of things in the business to help Pun, open up the doors for Pun, and Pun made him look. Of course,
he's a sound business. He's a shrewd. He's a good businessman. Like that, I can't take that away. That part.
I would say good because I don't. Good could be good.
No,
in
not
a way that bad. In a bad like you killing the CEO of some company for your brother to become president. It's good. Really.
No, I don't mean in that way. I don't mean good like. Okay, let me explain what I mean. I don't mean like good as in good conduct. I mean like shrewd, like you're making big moves, like you know how to maneuver, right? He knows how to put himself in positions to succeed, and maybe some other people to a certain point until they get to the point where they're gonna shine too much, and then example Tony Sunshine. Let me have him around and never have him drop an album ever. That's like another thing, but. Which I know you guys are riffing too.
But that's the thing also that goes beyond like understandable. Like who else dropped an album after that? You know what I'm saying? So nobody really dropped an album for a while.
Remy has one. Remy has one album.
And she has one, and she had to do 8 years in prison to really, you know what I'm saying? Well, she has two because she had the other one with him. But even the first one that she dropped. That's what she was complaining because of the same thing I was complaining that Joe wasn't, really being, really working together. He had his own thing, and I got my own, my own truth to me when it comes to that. And, how?
Why is it okay? Because I know your story is different, right? Obviously, your story is a whole look. Your story is like to the max, right? Your story is extreme. You know what I mean? Your story is like the real deal. Why is it that every time somebody's gonna get to that point? Some shit happens. Like, I don't know, Tony got, look, I know you guys are not, close anymore, right?
Yeah,
obviously.
Yeah.
But like talent was there.
Well, talent is talent, but you see where the talent is mostly where the spotlight is at when it comes to the talent. Joe is always going to be first in there. You know what I'm saying? As far as the branding, and always been first. And we had no problem him being first. It's just the over greed of now, okay, you first, but now you're doing other things in business that we don't agree with. You're doing funny things. You're getting people deals, and you're taking budgets, you're taking bonuses, you're taking upfront money, and then you're leaving your artist behind where it's like this is a game, this is what you was doing. And that's the reason Tony got like 10 deals, because you was over here selling Tony off, and every time you get that front money, you keep some, the most lump sum of it, you give him some, he's happy. And then later on, you throw him, you throw him in the fucking in a fire to him. Oh, he's lazy, he couldn't finish it. You get off that deal and you keep doing it. That's the way he was making his money.
I find it fascinating. It's interesting, and obviously you know the music business a lot more than I do. But see, that I never understood how somebody could have that many deals. That to me, and that's me being us. I don't know. I'm not trying to paint. I don't know them. I don't know those cats. You know what I mean? But like something is off to me.
Well,
how does that happen?
I'm telling you, that's why it was always give him enough after you get a new deal. But who was caking on the most at that time was Joe. He found the niche how to do that. Now, with me, he got me the deal in Atlantic Records. Atlantic Records. It was attached to a deal which gave him $10 million for his own label, Terror Squad, the label. That was attached to my deal. If I would sign with Atlantic Records, only if I signed. I gave him the power. My nigga, I trust you. You put my brother on. I seen how hard you work. I'm expecting you to do the same for me because you know you're gonna get a check from me, and you're already getting money from the top. And this is the last nigga you thought I was gonna get money because you didn't even believe in me and Sace. You know what I'm saying? So now that I made you believe, I want you to be proud that you know what I'm saying. Niggas from your block are representing, and this unity is big like that. But he didn't take it like that. It was more of a let me squeeze this nigga, let me learn this game. And the more he learned about how to do things, you know what I'm saying, and we give him that power to have our, you know, our signature, and you know, he could put us in whatever label, which we did. We trusted that much in him, and he used that trust, and you know, it wasn't a good thing. You know, it wasn't a good. I caught him doing things, and you know that you know with his hands inside a cookie jar, and you know and then he got the nerve to have certain you know some words for me that were really like, you know what I'm saying, damn, we're not team. So that's why the split up came, you know what I'm saying, inside the lawyer's office, because I had it up to here. My album was getting pushed back, pushed back. He wasn't even paying attention. He wasn't fighting for me for Atlantic Records. So it was a lot of things that, you know, I waited for. I stood patient. I waited like a motherfucking, like a real individual, like a person with patience. And you know, and I helped out. You know, my percentage inside that foundation of Terror Squad
The
is a lot.
foundation. The
It was a
foundation.
lot. It was a lot. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I put a lot of bricks. I put a lot of bricks in that motherfucking foundation. So, you know, of
Let's be
course, it was
let's
a
be
time.
clear. They weren't going far with all due respect. They weren't going far with Keith Nutt and Armageddon. Let's be real.
Oh,
And
we all know
I'm
that.
not there. And those cats could spit. I'm not saying they can't rap. They're dope lyrically, but I'm talking about that you guys
Yeah,
added that also that commercial appeal, which you need to get to that next level.
right. And then me, remember, I was the one that he didn't believe in. I was the one that, you know, when Pun, we was full of clips as a group. But he came
Right.
in our group, and he said he only wanted Pun. So you know, we gave Pun the blessings to do, you know, to do him, but he separated, he divided that group. You know what I'm saying? And he wanted, you know, Pun to go solo, and when Pun got on, he put us on. If he believes in us like he did, and during time and working, you know what I'm saying, and doing his career, I showed him because you know, I showed them that my skills are up to par, and you know, I have enough skills for the people that you know, I could create that demand for a Cuban Link album because you know when Pun helped put me into the off the books and the Beatnuts took my verse there, it was an opportunity that nobody expected, but I earned it because they kept me.
How true is it? How
Now,
true is it that they didn't want
and
you
I
on
wasn't
that?
signed.
Not Beat Nuts. How true is it that Joe didn't want you on that record? Is that true?
Oh, he want he, but Bubble, I'm trying to tell you from the beginning of Pun's career, he chose
Yeah.
Pun. He thought
Right.
Pun was gonna be on some old. All right, this is just me. Let me just do this. It's about me. Pun kept us there because we was Pun's, you know, at times arms, legs. We was, you know, what I'm saying his motivation. We was a team, a real team. You know, what I'm saying especially me and him, where we fed off of each other when we wrote in his crib. You know, he knew that he needed us, and he didn't want to be by himself. He didn't want to be by himself when you know in Joe's crew because he was a different kind of you know dude. And
Right. Right.
Joe already had his crew. So his crew was full of clips, which was me, Stace, and, you know, sick one. But you know, the the fact that, you know, Joe would send Pun to do songs with other individuals, and he'll send them to like the studio. Pun would bring me.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah, you've said that in every interview pretty much you've done. That's consistent. That's the thing. That's
And
one of
when
the things that I respect about you. Your interviews, they're always consistent. You give your information does not change, which I respect
because
because that means you're being real. Yeah.
the truth of it, you know what I'm saying? You know the truth when you feel it, you hear it, you smell it, and you can taste it. So at the end of the day, it doesn't change. So when you know when he would go into like let's just say the beatnut session, I wasn't supposed to be there. Joe told the nigga, yo, don't bring nobody, go by yourself. But Pun went against the grain, of course, because I was always sleeping in his crib. Still my brother.
Yeah.
So now from there we go straight to the fucking session, me, Sace, and him. And then when we there, niggas start playing beats. And then Pun, yo, my nigga, right, get your pen, right. Like he wanted that to happen. He wanted us to show Joe how nice we were because Joe didn't see it. That's how he wanted. And then we showed them, and we thought we did. I thought I did when the Beat Nuts, I earned that by myself. I wasn't even signed to Terror Squad Records when the off the books came out. So I was a free agent. Yeah. So if I want to be a dirtball, I could have been out and used that
shopping deals. Just demo. Use it. Here's my demo. Look at this. I'm on this record.
If I was a dirtball.
Yep.
Yeah, but I could have really been a slick nigga and went and got my own deal. I didn't need it because I wasn't signed to Joe yet.
Right.
Joe
there was no obligation. Yeah.
So that's a reason why Joe hated the fact that I got on. But even though after I showed him that, yo, my nigga, I would never do that. My honor.
It was almost like, all right, Pun. All right, what do you? It was almost like Pun. Yeah. No. I was just gonna say that it was almost like Pun said, all right, here, here you go. I'll take him. Right.
Right. No. He wanted us to really impress Joe. He did. He wanted us to really impress Joe, for Joe to take us in as a crew because he wanted everybody to be together. That was Pun's plan. But then later on, now I'm popping. Okay, so now I got to get a deal. What happened to my brother's piece? Because you told him that, yeah, you could put them on later. When they get on later, you know what I'm saying? If you believe in them, you can put them on. So what happened? Why are you shopping my deal now, my brother? You know what I'm saying? So I made you a believer, but now you see there's money involved in Cuban Link. You know what I'm saying? I got a potential to sell. I got a potential to, to really go out there and pop off. So, but what happened to the deal you had with Pun? And I asked Pun that. Pun told me, go with him, my nigga, go with him. Right now, I'm still doing me. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only reason I went with Joe. And, even when I got my first bonus, I got 50,000. Like I said, I gave my brother, 1/4 of that, which was 12,500 of my check, of my upfront money, because that was my loyalty to him. His loyalty to Joe was 50%. 50%. So Joe was getting 50% of everything Pun was doing, from features, shows, everything, deals, everything. They went half and half and everything, and that's unheard of. You know what I'm saying? That's when later on he was taking advantage. You know what I'm saying? Because the manager gets 20%. He was actually getting 50. So that's the reason why Joe went extra out his way really to go behind.
I don't know how true that story is. I've heard a story. It's interesting you bring that up because I heard a story about some guy.
What you mean? You don't know?
No. Well, that's no. What I mean, no.
True. What story?
No. I believe what you're saying. What I'm talking about is I don't know the story. I'm going to tell you about a story that I heard from somebody mentioning some Jelly Bean Benitez guy. Right. No. I'm not the story you saying. I'm talking about the story that the guy I heard. There was a guy. I don't know his name. There's a black guy who mentioned he has the ins on everything supposedly, and he mentioned the deal that they worked on. And I guess, Liza was going to, God bless their family and stuff, going to, to court and working out. And they settled for an undisclosed amount of money, right? Liza and Joe, right? Don't know about that things, whatever. And I heard it's because of some deal that they cut that you mentioned. It was a 50-50 deal. Plus there was a management fee being charged. So like,
what it was an administrative fee to Joe, because he was the one that was shopping the deal. So he gets administrative. And Pun was under Terror Squad Productions, which Joe gets cut the first check, and they're going 50-50. They're going I'm selling 50% of my catalog, and I get 50. I mean, I get 25, and Joe get 25, and you're selling 50%. So at the end of the day, it's 50-50. You know what I'm saying? As far as the publishing deal, and but Joe administrates it. So Joe is the one that gets the check cut first, and then he cuts the check to Pun. That's where the problem went.
Okay. I get it. Yep. I get it.
Yep. So he did sell it. I mean, they did sign a publishing deal with Jelly Bean Benitez, and he bought, the 50% for. I think it was either 150 or 250. Wow. That's how much he gave. He gave him an advance, and they split that money. You know what I'm saying?
Now, so here we go. Right, I'm glad you broke that down, because you definitely you were there. Like you pretty much had the, you know what I mean. You were right there, front row. So what I wanted to ask you now, because I just touching on you as far as your career, right? I wanted to talk about. I made a little list, right? I made a little list about the top 5 verses that I thought you spit in your career. I want to know if you agree with me. All right, I got a list. This is the 5 right here. In no particular order, they're just the top 5 I thought of. Number 1, I thought was your verse on My Cartel. Remember the joint that you made, My Cartel, on 24K?
You put that up there? I didn't like that verse.
That's a bro.
You like that verse?
You're crazy. You don't think that verse belongs there? You'll let the games begin. Got adrenaline running through my veins. Come on, bro.
Oh man,
you like killed that song. Yeah. I think you slept on your own verse.
I always been hard on myself. I'm talking about, like, for me, classic Cuban like verses would have to be definitely
Toe to toe. I got toe to toe. Your first verse. Oh yeah. Okay. Damn, I didn't put that on there. I should have put that on there. You know what? You're right. You're right.
Tony Montana's, and posing in front of the cameras.
You know what? You're right. You're right.
You know what I'm saying? Thinking beyond, deeper than Gandhi. Well, I'm in the Diamante, counting my dreams. I'm in the be a million.
$100 first in the air. My what is it? Something independent dollars, and it doesn't make sense. I represent.
I'm the king in New York. For being in the midst of the resort, I'm a Latino that'll take you to war like Al Pacino.
Like Al Pacino. Even De Niro don't want to gamble at my casino.
See that?
Yeah. You're right. You know what? Okay. You know what? We'll scratch the cartel. We'll scratch my cartel.
The cartel. I wouldn't put that verse up there.
All right.
I got rubies on my Uzis and gems on my Mac 10s, diamonds on my 9s and golden bullets just to match them.
Silver clips, real baguettes.
That type of shit.
Milk this game till I
lyrical shit.
Yeah, you know what?
To me, that was lyrical shit.
From the floors to the ceiling to in a Porsche full of women with I remember that shit.
Just that I got rubies on my Uzi.
You're 100% right. You're right. You had the best verse on that song. No, you had the best. No disrespect to Pun. Pun didn't even rap. The biggest disappointment I had of Pun in his whole career was not spitting a verse on that song. That's it. He should have rapped. He was just singing on the joint.
Yeah.
Glamour Life.
Yeah. Well,
Glamour Life.
But you got to understand, Pun was also disgusted because that was when we did. The Glamour Life, he did it. But he wanted to showcase us. You know what I'm saying?
I get it. And it was a showcase. He did.
He flipped that hook. And
he killed it.
You know what I'm saying? Pushing a Hummer. You know, he's wilding out. Like,
now she's 50 years old, pushing a Hummer. Yeah. All right, I got another one for you. Here we go. Okay. So we'll forget that. I'm gonna replace that one with Glamour Life, right?
And you also got tender, because remember, I got 8 bars in that song, and I stood out with 8 bars. You know how hard it is to stand out.
Yeah. No, you killed it. No, you killed it.
And at the time, I was the 8-bar killer. Nobody really understands, but I did the Veronica joint, something to hold with me and Pun. I did the Twins.
That was a good song.
I did that Must Be the Music. Pun was putting me in little things. You know, he was my real manager. He was the one that you know what I'm saying, that got me out there like that on the extra. And then when Joe realized that, then he took me to that level where it's like, okay, you know, he gave me a little love up there too. We can't even front, you know, but yeah, man.
I'm gonna give you the other 4. I'm gonna give you the other 4, right? Because I need you to hear these, right?
Okay.
I need you to hear these other ones, right? Toe to toe. Your verse, the first verse. Come on, I bag your team up in 100 hefties. Is that the second one or the first? No, but your first verse. Your first verse.
Yeah, but to me the second.
Really?
Whatever.
I bag your team up in 100 hefties if you
want. Ground and pound of a body like Muhammad Ali, Poppy.
We can lock up in the lobby. Bobbing and weaving, leaving is out of breath.
That's you see that format that I used in that second one. That was really me. The first one was I liked it because of the energy and the contrast between the two beats. Because I'm the one who put those two beats together. You know, Pun.
I love that concept, bro.
Yeah,
Pun loved it.
Pun told me, yo, pick the two beats. Don't worry. I told that nigga, yo, my nigga, I'm gonna use the fucking. You gotta use the root shit.
The root shit, yo, that root shit. I like the roots one too. I love the roots version. Hell yeah.
Because that was a fighting. We did it toe to toe. We used to go to motherfucking the gym together as kids. We used to go to the boxing gym together. We used to, you know, our fucking trainer used to be.
Oh, so that was a reference on that. That was you guys kind of like going at each other.
Okay. No, that was a reference of us being, you know, having that memory when we used to fucking train with Mitch in you know, in the Fort Apache gym out here in the Bronx, on 167th Street. And we took that and we made it like on some honest shit, like, you know, real niggas stand toe to toe and they fight because we come from that cloth, like, nigga, we nice with the hands.
Yeah. That was that time. Yeah,
we did it on that. We did it on that twin shit, on that. But also as a battle, like he's battling me, he fucking destroyed me. That fuck is my brother, but you know he really did me dirty on the extra shit. On the third verse, that's why he got an extra verse.
Oh, he killed it. Yeah, he got you on that one. He got you on that third verse. You held your own though. You held your own. You held your own.
Yep.
All right, I got the third one. Here's this is the one. Second verse. All right. The third top five for me. I got this one. You may agree with. The song you have with, I forget, I think it's something pit with damn, I forgot the name already. I had the name. The song with Beat Nuts and Common.
Oh, Slam Pit,
bro.
Yes, Slam Pit was cool.
Come on, you gotta agree. Come on, you gotta.
That was an underground joke. I agree.
You went hard on that.
Yeah. But I'm just saying that flow was so like natural.
Because the blocks is hotter than the fucking tropics. Oh man.
Yeah. And
Jesus.
That still had the Bronx corners, you know what I'm saying, 167th Street Prospect, rubbing off on that. That was the cypher type Cuban.
Jesus Christ. Bro, you bodied that so badly. And it's funny. And you were there with, let's put this in perspective, people. This guy was rapping with Common on a beat. Do you realize how nice Common is? You know what I'm saying. Do people realize how nice Common Sense? At that time, it was Common Sense and Beat Nuts. Beat Nuts, they're nice in their own right, but Common Sense, bro.
And thanks to the Beat Nuts, because and you they put bodied on that song. You know what I'm saying?
But it was a relativity connection, no? Weren't they all on relativity together?
But I wasn't. So at the end of the day,
I know. Yeah. Well, I get
that spot too. So you know, they asked me to come and spit something for them. So that's what I'm saying now. You know, the Beat Nuts and Pun, man, they're the ones that I give the credit to when it comes to you know, putting you know, Cuban on to the next level. That you know, that belief factor and actually giving me the stage to really represent.
Word, man. Shout out to the Beat Nuts too. They are pioneers, they are legends, and we got to give them their flowers as well. While they're here, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now the other verse I have may throw you off, but I'm gonna bring it up because I think it's one of my favorites. We talked about it earlier. As the world turns, the verse from As the World Turns, to me, that shit resonates with me because it's real. It's real shit. And you were kicking. One of my favorites. When I was 5, I arrived in America.
That's definitely one of my favorite verses. One of my favorite songs, actually. One of my favorite songs.
Beautiful song.
It's so simple. It gives you that. It gives you that young spirit, that young,
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? That innocence, that and then that hook.
It's like high school, bro. It reminds me of my beginning years of high school. Like that takes me to high school, like believing, okay, I'm gonna get through today. I believe in this. Like I believe I'm gonna be what I want to be. Right? I'm gonna, you know, it's inspirational. It's inspirational, like, you know what I mean? You guys inspire me with that joint. Like, I used to play that all the time. Like, cats would look at me crazy. Like, I would put the headphones on and I'm singing it out loud. Like, what the fuck is this guy doing? And I'm singing it. And I'm like, I'm thinking I'm fucking Tony Sunshine singing the hook and stuff. And I'm gonna mention Tony Sunshine because we're not gonna get into the personal stuff, but
Tony didn't even get paid. Actually, Tony wasn't even getting paid when we did the Terror Squad album.
Wow,
the first one. So he was riding on a wave right there on still trying to show himself to Joe, to get inducted because he still didn't get that. Tony Sunshine a check, so just because, we had him on songs. So he was the ones that we was trying to let Joe hear now, so he could, because we thought of Joe as the leader. We gave him that respect.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
Even he signed off, then, that wasn't down. That went all the way around from, from Prospect all the way to Tony Sunshine. So at the end of the day, it's like, yeah. Tony did not get a check at that time. I got $10,000 for the Terror Squad deal. Pun got $15,000 for the Terror Squad deal. Sace got $7,500. Prospect got $7,500. Armageddon got $10,000, and that's the deal that Joe got $10 million for. Remember that?
Wow.
Remember that? That he got off he got off the top when I signed with Atlantic. He got that deal, $10 million.
Wow.
For his own record label, and that's how much he spent. That's how much he spent in motherfucking in his artists, and didn't give Pun, which Pun deserved a little bit at least. My nigga, you know what I'm saying? Give Pun a little bit back, man. He put that Terror Squad fucking that brand to the next level. Give him a little percentage. Y le dio 15,000 pesos a Pun.
15,000 pesos. Wow.
Y 15,000 pesos. Como si fuera like Pun was trying to stick it up for him, because at the end of the day, Pun was already getting 50 G's as feature at that time, and he got the nerve to give this nigga 15 G's. That's
an insult. I mean, if you look at it, yeah,
it's a big insult, and that's the reason why Pun wasn't giving it his all when it came to the Terror Squad album like that. He didn't give too much. That's where he seen what Joe thought of him when it came to the business part. And
I want to get to that part real quick. We're gonna hold that thought. So my last verse that I put for you was Off the Books, which we talked about. So, right?
Off the books?
Off the books. Yeah. That was your other top 5 verse, I think. In my opinion, you killed it. So with Pun, right? Do you think had Pun lived? Because to me, based on the stories I've heard and obviously what you've said as well in the past, it seems like it was inevitable. It was going to come to a head. Like, I don't get the sense that that relationship was going to last much longer had he lived, because he would have eventually. You wanted another deal.
Away, before Pun passed away, there was already renegotiating the 50% thing. Joe was already a little upset that Pun wanted to do that, but I think it was getting compromised where it was getting lowered. Because Pun showed, he showed his ass off. He worked his ass off. He made a lot of people rich, and he didn't deserve to get 50% taken out from him. So at the end of the day, that was being negotiated to be for the next album, for the Yeah Baby album, to be knocked down to probably. I think it was going to be the 25, like you know what I'm saying? Because he had 20%. Like we was giving him, besides Pun, Joe was getting 20% from me every show and everything as a manager. We gave him that love because that was the way he was going to get that throughout the board, from Sace, from everybody, from Tony, from everybody. He gets 20%. That's love, right? That's love. But now when that just don't come so empty, you know what I'm saying? 20%, nigga, I'm paying you to be my manager.
That's right.
So what's up with the work of my manager, Papa? Don't get it twisted now that you're so big that now you think it feels almost like you're trying to extort, and you're acting like that, but you're not acting like that because you're acting real humble when you're around us. But then you're not really working for your 20%. And that was my problem. When my album came and it was my turn, he wasn't working. He didn't come to none of my shows. I was giving him 20%, and I did over 100 shows. So I made over, over $500,000 on the street.
Right.
I give him 20% of that. So I paid my dues. I worked my way up from nothing to something. And then when I got it, all I expected was for you to respect business.
Correct.
I'm paying you for something. If nothing else, if me and you don't even look eye to eye with each other and we look at different things, just know that I'm paying you 20% for you to do your job. So you couldn't even do that. ¿Entiendes? So that was the last straw. That was the last straw of me, of me really putting him in a hot seat and asking him, yo, what's up? And that's when he came out and said, saying like he didn't need me, like, playing me like, I wasn't nice enough to be, the only reason I got my deals because of Pun.
Yeah,
And if
yeah.
you do your,
Which
if you
wasn't
do your,
fair. Which wasn't fair. You paid your dues.
which
Yeah,
was
you
lie,
paid your dues.
which was a lie. At that time, it hurt my feelings that this nigga feel this way of me.
Yeah, yeah.
God
Because
damn.
you worked. Yeah, you worked for your spot. You had to really grind for it.
And I made him look, and my lyrics, my writings
Well,
made him look even
I've
good.
heard stories about that too. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Right,
if
right.
my writing helped out, without
Mm-hmm.
with me still paying my dues and now getting paid for things that I've done, and so did Pun. So at the end of the day, it's like, God damn, this nigga for that,
You talk
for
about
that,
Don Cartagena album?
the Don Cartagena album, of
Don
course,
Cartagena, bro, you hear the Don Cartagena. Basically, Don Cartagena was
the change
Capital Punishment Part 2. Basically, if you
yes,
listen to the flow, bro, when it
but
came out, I was a kid. Yeah.
more commercial. It put Joe in a whole different light. Now he could make real songs that are hot and they're commercial and they got radio play. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? Pun
radio
made,
appeal.
yeah, because Pun made the Capital Punishment album only had probably, the remix of Still Not a Player that had radio appeal like that in the first, maybe not even
Yeah,
the
the
first one.
Darling Baby.
Right. Joe's
Punish Me. Also, I always which I
Punish
thought Punish Me should have came out. I'll be honest with you. I thought Punish Me should have been a big record. I don't know who messed up on that. I know they still. I'm being nitpicky. I know the album sold 3 million. They should have went with Punish Me next. I don't know who dropped the ball there. I don't know if it was Rifkin. I don't know who it was. But
well, the thing about that album was that they couldn't buy the Still Not a Play. I mean, the Still Not a Play, the remix, without buying the whole album. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
They sold it on that type of that type of
You're talking about the sample. They couldn't clear the sample
marketing.
with. Okay,
No,
got
no,
it.
no, no. You
Oh,
couldn't
no.
you couldn't get Still Not a Player. Part two.
Right.
The one with Joe,
The remix, the
one
big,
that
yeah,
blew up.
the
The remix. They couldn't get it unless they bought the whole album. So they was forced to buy the whole album for that song.
Got it.
And
Okay.
in the midst of you buying that album, that's when you understood how lyrical Pun was, because you was now you had the whole album, you had to check them for real. So that was the thing about that. But Joe had a very commercial album. You know what I'm saying? It went gold.
It did well. Yeah. It was his first basically his first commercial success.
Right, and that's coming from a 3 times platinum album, though. You gotta understand, Pun already came out. He sold 3 million.
Yeah.
I wrote Senorita for Puff, the hook. Senorita,
I've heard, yes.
The Mami Ben Aquí. From that favor is why Joe got that first single.
Don
Cara.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Well, he got
Adios
Puffy
to mañana.
Yeah. Adios to mañana. He got Puffy to do that actual hook for him because I did Senorita for Puff.
I had no idea. I did not know.
Well, I'm telling you now. Those are things that I'm being denied of my credit, and he will never tell you. He will never tell you. But you put him in a room with me, he can't deny it because he can't deny it. At the end of the day, those things that are true that happened in that missing chapter, that dark chapter of when Cuban Link wasn't around the Terror Squad and they split up. Those that are missing, treasures that are hidden from the people, and those are besides the fact that the pressure was on that he was in the industry, and then I went back to the street because of the situation. So it's just a dark chapter that was skipped over. Their imagination and their belief was for me to already probably die off and give up already, and I didn't. Because at the end of the day, I love what I do. I love my music. I do this shit because I breathe it. You know what I'm saying? It comes and goes. It got crazy.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Cuban. I'm gonna be 100% with you, and I got nothing but the deep and utmost respect for you, right? Yes. Otherwise, I wouldn't have had you on here, my brother. Bro, there's many times where I've been so upset and frustrated with you, and I'm saying this in a space of love because I'm waiting for you to put out more music. Right?
Oh no!
I want you to put out more music because I feel like, and I'm not alone. You have fans who have been waiting for you for years, for you to come out with an album. What are you up to now? When are we gonna hear the new Cuban Link music? Go ahead.
Papa, the only thing that I have it ready. The only thing that you have to realize is that Cuban Link loves his music. Yes, Cuban Link's been giving y'all little singles here and there. Maybe not as uh as usual as y'all would want to, or you know what I'm saying, a lo local.
There
Cuban
was
Link.
a time where you were putting out singles a lot for a little while, and then all of a sudden, I kind of felt like maybe life, life gets in the way sometimes. I get it. You know what I
Well,
mean?
yeah, well,
100%.
life,
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
also has to do with the machine that you're using. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
you still
Correct.
you need a team uh, to be behind you. You need some capital to put it out there professionally. Uh,
100%.
not that you can't do it without it, but that's how I want to do it because just especially now. Now I'm telling you what I have in store now, which is a bunch of singles that I just worked in right before COVID. And of course, as soon as I pick up the pen, you already know a fucking epidemic has to hit the world, so the world has to stop, and
Right.
then
Right.
the Cuban Link project is has to be on a fucking hold again. But at the end of the day, it's like this album right here that I got. This is my best work ever. This is Cuban Link, 100% an MC, 100% a musician, 100% an artist, 100% back into the having fun, having the ingredients, the depth, the
Right.
lyricism that I started with, that I feel comfortable and really I'm proud of my actuals, the songs and the things that I'm making now. That's what I'm saying. So this is actually the best Cuban Link y'all gonna get. That's a
Oh,
that's
you
a
hear that? All right. All right.
so that's a promise. That's a promise between song making, uh, and I always been an artist that wrote from beginning to end, um, all my lyrics. If I choose another person, to actual to
Contribute
perform in
some
my
a hook or something. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, we'll work, amongst with each other with. But I usually pick that, and I put the lyrics behind them and make coach whoever's gonna say what because of the vision I have. But this time around, man, it just means so much. It means
Yeah. And we're very much looking
I'm
forward
giving you
to.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm
Go ahead.
giving
You're
you
cutting
a
out. Go
taste
ahead.
of yeah what this is, which the album is gonna be called, you know it's the missing link of ingredients inside the song. That shows you, that shows you emotion, that show you that lyrics are not hollow, and lyrics that are full with life and messages are 10 times better than these little, it's that competition of that missing link that hip-hop is missing. It's missing, you know that Cuban song that's been gone for,
Yeah.
man. It's
Yeah.
missing that
Yeah.
story
Yeah.
that was in the dark. That story that nobody knows the answer to. That that left us a little, lost, or where Cuban Link is bringing the answer to that. Is the missing link to where I was missing for real, like you
Right.
said. Like
Right.
I do shit and then I disappear. You know what I'm saying? So it's just it just goes around, and this is full circle Cuban Link 360, giving you a more mature, of 100% from lyrics, mentally, spiritually, and just as a motherfucking hip hop artist, as a songwriter, as a motherfucker that got to go and get those 3 Grammys for Pun for my brother, because that's what he said.
Yeah.
Is that
That's
energy?
right. That's right.
Is that undeniable energy that God gave me when we connected, and He told me, "I got you from now on. Just concentrate on your gift, and don't worry, I got the rest." Is that making that even a hater love me because he has to love my music, and
He's got to
that
respect. He's got to respect you. He's got to respect you. He's got to respect you.
respect. But he has to respect because because my talent dug in his fucking soul and made him understand why you should respect me. That's how deep it goes. You know what I'm saying? And that's how deep I'm trying to touch when it comes to words and music this time around. And it's just me also representing my Spanish side in the Spanish album, and it's also me representing the corners of the Bronx, which is my English side. My American dream, which has touched my
Sheridan.
gangster side.
Sheridan. Sheridan.
There you go. 163rd and 4th, baby, between Sheridan. You already know.
Yeah.
Now 55, apartment 20. That,
Damn.
I'm saying? That's my journey. So I'm giving y'all my story in a beautiful painting and in a classy, proud, whether you're Spanish, whether you're hip hop, black, white, it doesn't matter. You hear this and it's going to touch you in a positive way. It has messages, it has format, it has motherfucking radio likability. It
So
has,
this a legacy. So this is like a legacy album. Like you calling this is like a legacy type of album.
This is Cuban Link. This is the Diamond Series. This is the Diamond Series. Yes, sir. This is Cuban Link, Missing Link. This is something that is special. Special. This is the prime. This is actually my prime, is what I'm saying. This is prime rib. Yeah. This is the best. This is the best prime right here. This is it right here.
That's what's up.
This is that port age for fucking 69 fucking years. This is it. You know what I'm saying? This is the 6-course meal y'all been waiting for.
We've been waiting for this now. That we're very much looking forward to that, and we want you to, you know what I mean, keep us posted on that. Now before we go,
I got it. But once, I said,
look at that. He said he got it.
Smart. I have to do it smart. I have to do it by myself, which is the key word. I have to set it off by myself and do it my way. I can't be an artist anymore under anybody's label. I have to be a boss. I have to be the front man.
Absolutely.
I have to be the director. I have to be the composer. I have to be the maestro. I have to. This vision is already sought through me, and it's understood by me. The only thing I need is the tools and the right team to get behind it once it's out there and exposed. And that comes with business, and that business part, that trusting to get behind the Cuban Link project is very hard, because it can't be just anybody either. You know what I'm saying? So it has to be somebody that my energy, my aura, and my vision, they could share that with me and they could understand it.
Oh, you're cutting out the Wi-Fi, the signal. Cutting out. There you go. Cojones, chico.
Like chiquitico. Sí, pero that's it, my brother. But believe me, man, this is my best work, man. So just be patient a little with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to give it. I'm trying to rock with what the world. Usually, life puts things in front of you, man, and that's how it's been with me. When 100%. I let it go natural, when I let just destiny happen, and not that I'm lazy or I'm waiting. Sometimes I could be waiting a little too long, but life seems to always give me the tools necessary to make things happen. And believe me, what I got as far as a musician, as far as a rapper, as far as music, y'all gonna be really, really, really satisfied with what I got for y'all. Now my presentation is what I'm working on, trying to present that to y'all in the best way possible, in the best way in business that's gonna, build the empire that COK is gonna be. So I can't just do things because I'm on the fly like that no more. I have to do it, and I need a team also to share the actual workload with me, because I can't do it by myself. I could definitely do certain things, a lot of things by myself, but you need a team, man. You need a team, trustworthy people, and people that could just understand their position and do their position, and you could probably just buy that position, that kind of talent for that position. But it's got to be a machine that is ran the way this music business should be ran. You know what I'm saying? As far as for my project.
100%, man. And before we sign off, I want you to talk to the people of Cuba or the Cuban Americans out there, because I feel that it's very important that someone such as yourself does that. And that was one of the reasons I also wanted to have you, because I feel like this is that time. And to me, this is even bigger than anything else, music, anything. So just give some words for the Cuban community here and worldwide. Go ahead and then just plug your social media and everything and what to look out for.
Bueno, para mi gente de Cuba, la quiero con corazón a todas, compatriotas, mis cubanos allá, mi reina, mis reyes. Ustedes son los héroes que siempre ustedes siempre han sido el fuego que me ha cargado a hacer lo que yo hice aquí en América, cuando vienen de 5 añitos. Uh, las raíces mías, de los indios, los africanos, los españoles. La sangre mía, de que me recuerdo yo las memorias en Cuba, cuando era chiquito, donde nací, en un bloque que se llamaba Puerta Cerrada. Doors that were locked. That was my street name. The street name that I was raised at. Puerta Cerrada. Allá en La Habana Vieja. Yo nací con defectos en los pies. Tuve 7 operaciones en los pies. Y todavía corría más rápido que el que tenía los 2 pies regular. Yo ya estaba
el que no tenía la pierna mala ni que estaba de salud.
Yo nací con el tobillo jorobado,
wow.
Y con hueso adentro de eso, porque mi mamá me tuvo a mí cuando tenía 39 años. So it was a late birth. Pero todavía estoy diciendo esto para que entiendan esto también, que cuando ya después de 7 operaciones sin tobillo, yo cuando vine a América aquí entré en el track team. En el 7 grado, yo estaba corriendo track con la gente regular, con los que no tenían operaciones ni nada, con los de verdadero, los niños que estaban sanos también. Yo nunca me dieron como handicap. Y yo caminando con los fucking the Forrest Gump shoes too. I had to go through that too. But I'm trying to tell you that.
I'm laughing because you said Forrest Gump. I'm not laughing at you, but yeah.
Well, you're fucking laughing at me. You're fucking snapping on me already. But it don't matter, my nigga. Listen, what I'm trying to tell you is that I take it back then. Of course, you get ashamed. We're different than the rest of the kids. But to understand that later on in life, that I overcame that with just mentality of me loving whatever I was doing. So I loved track and field. Me encantaba correr. Empecé a correr, no me importaba cuántas operaciones yo tenía, sin tobillo ni cojones. Yo me metí en el track team y gané como 3 veces number 1 contra the regular niggas that didn't have no fucking problems in their feet. Then I joined the basketball team because I love basketball. Me metí en el basketball, jugando basketball. In 8th grade, I was in my junior high school basketball team. I jumped the highest. By the 9th grade, I was already dunking. I'm 5'8".
Wow.
With those operations and those things that I'm trying to tell you, these are things that I'm trying to tell you that I look at it now and it was like, God damn, I didn't even pay attention to those things.
You didn't think of it back then. Yeah, you didn't think about it.
That God gave me, and the thing that we could do when we put our minds to anything could be done. I am a living testament of that, and I mean it in a way where I know my story, what I'm saying, from all the hurdles and all, even, the great times, the bad times, even the ones where, what I'm saying, the enemy tried not to let me come out, even from the beginning. I mean, my destiny is fucking closed doors. I'm not supposed to open them doors, and life opened them up for me. El Mariel salió. My father knew that undeniable energy we needed to be used so we could get to the next step. And as long as you use it in righteousness and overcoming hurdles and obstacles in life, my story is something that I'm sure is gonna help, the underdog get more motherfucking fuel behind it, themselves, and really have more self-esteem about themselves and believe in, a little bit more once you hear my story. And that's what we all here for, man. If I could be in any asset or inspiration to a movement or a gift that is hidden, that needs this kind of, reinsurance and this type of belief behind it, this is what my story is out here for. I lived it out here, and I live it out the way I lived it, my way, of course, the way that I see as a boss, as a leader. Now that I'm older, as a father, as a righteous man, you know, as an immigrant. You know what I'm saying? So, para la gente de Cuba, que yo siempre ha cargado a Cuba atrás, no en tattoos only, yo tengo el tatú de Cuba aquí atrás, de la isla de Cuba, pero no, yo tenía Cuba atrás en la espalda, de que vine yo aquí en 5 añitos, que aterricé en Miami, después fui a Puerto Rico allá por 4 años y después para el Bronx a 9 años. And that's when hip hop took over me. Y nunca me he olvidado de mi gente. Siempre, fíjate que yo soy único, mira, me llaman Cuban Link for a reason. You know what I'm saying? I've been the link between a lot of beautiful situations and a lot of beautiful things that happen in life, just because I am a team player. I'm a team player, and I always link people up together. Y yo soy el cubano. El link es cubano.
Mm-hmm.
I never forgot about that.
Wow.
So I'm the Cuban Link, el tejido del Cuban Link. Fíjate que el nombre mío tiene Cuba adentro de eso, porque ese is how proud I am of being who I am, my Cuban people. Out of that struggle that was meant to never be overcame, and yo soy uno de que vine aquí y lo ha hecho por el amor de mi mamá, mi papá, de mi patria y todas las cosas bellas que Cuba siempre, que todavía lo siento yo, de las raíces que tengo yo, por mi familia que todavía están allá, y me recuerdo yo de Cuba, que no, fíjate que ni puedo ir ahí hasta que ahora, por ahora, porque el carnet mía, nunca me hice ciudadano. Por estupidez, pero que por fucking coincidence, that at the end of the day, I just thought it was a whole different type of process. I thought you become a fucking citizen after, certain years that you've been in this country, but it wasn't like that, you know what I'm saying? And I still, yo todavía necesito el pasaporte cubano y todavía soy, Cuban without being a citizen.
Él es ciudadano cubano todavía. That's crazy. That's crazy.
By default, y también, the most beautiful thing about, and the most craziest connection que tú puedes pensar cuando tú piensas de Cuba y de Cuban Link. Yo, a Cuba le pusieron un embargo. El embargo quiere decir que América lo castigó a Cuba por Fidel Castro para que no pueden hacer negocio con ningunos amigos de América. Y los amigos de América son los más grandes. So, quiere decir que le pusieron le pusieron una sanción a Cuba inmortal, que no puede crecer Cuba, no puede venderle mucha cantidad a nadie, porque los que nada más están left son pobres también como Cuba. ¿Entiendes? So, the capability of Cuba, becoming one, strong country by itself, because it's selling its own materials and its own products, is limited because of the embargo. They put a stop to it. They put a block on it. Y yo, aquí, jugando con esta música, y la música que estoy yo, 25 años plus, me pusieron un embargo también.
Well said.
Un black también, que todavía existe. ¿Entiendes? Y no pudieron pararnos, ni a Cuba, ni a mí. Because the destiny and what God put out there and was meant for it to come out and rise and become what it was, eso es lo que va a hacer. Esa es la energía que siempre tenemos. Recuérdense en eso, que nosotros sobrevivimos lo más malo y todavía estamos aquí, more handsome than ever, more beautiful than ever. Mi patria igual que yo. Mil millas, más de 1000 millas, lejos de yo y allá, y él y Cuba de a mí. Y estamos pasando por casi la misma cosa. El odio, el miedo de nuestro gift que Dios nos dio, las cosas y miedo de nosotros coger el timón y hacer y ponerle y hacer lo que nosotros, Dios nos dio el poder hacer. Tratan de pararnos, pero no pueden, because Cuba's got my back and I got her back, and just like everything else, is destiny. The destiny is to become what God was, had intent for us, and I know that God intended, a certain thing for me, certain field for me, which is music, certain message to be out there. And y'all gonna know it because y'all can see it. I'm a living proof that, you know what I'm saying, that if you believe, you can achieve, and you can make anything of yourself if once you put your heart and your love into it, and you're destined to it because you have that relationship with God, and the people around you will tell you what your path is, and life itself is going to show you what you're supposed to do. But that's when you grow older. You know what I'm saying? For the youth, now I know, and that's why I'm so sure, and that's why I'm trying to tell you this Cuban Link is a complete Cuban Link that y'all going to get for the Bisson Link album. You know what I'm saying? And everything else from here.
Nah, man, listen, I appreciate you coming on here, brother. Really, it was great chopping it up with you. Thank you for coming on.
I'll be a pleasure anytime, man. We do part 2 whenever you need me.
Yo, bro.
We'll do it live, man. We'll do it live. I like I said, I feel bad del principio, so I still feel like I owe you something. So you know what? Next time we got to do this face to face, and we get it really popping. So
bro.
I could really let you hear some new joints, and you could catch up on your future Cuban Link project, and see how you feel about it.
Nah, definitely, man. I appreciate that. Let the people know where they can find you. And what is it? Give me your Instagram.
Yeah, you can find me on in Instagram. You can catch me in Felix Delgado Cuban Link, Felix Cuban Link Delgado on my Facebook, and that's it, man. You can catch me on my YouTube. I'm gonna start some new projects up, so yeah, just pay mind to what's going on in my in the Cuban Link radar, and I guarantee you're gonna really, really, from comedy all the way to acting to documentaries, to real shit, to my music, to books. A lot of things is gonna come out. Out. I just want y'all to get your mind wrapped around something that's real, man. There's too much fake shit going on now. I'm just trying to bring you back.
Indeed.
Bring you back. It's so beautiful when something is real, and it's also gifted, and it's put in a way where it's appreciated. So that's what I'm gonna give you.
That's what's up, man, and I appreciate you coming on here, brother. Thank you very much. We'll catch up, man. Definitely, I appreciate you.
Ya tú sabes. Los Santos están conmigo.
Los Santos están contigo siempre, todo el tiempo.
Vale.
All right, man. Be good.
Respeto,
all right, man. Mi respeto.
Love,
all right, brother. Take care. Thank you. So, man, that was interesting. That was great. It was really good to have Cuban on. Real good guest. I want to thank Cuban Link for joining me on the show. Thank you all for listening. Make sure to check me out at follow me on Instagram, Santos Thread Shop on Instagram. Make sure you subscribe, like on the YouTube, the Santos Says Podcast. Make sure you guys visit us at santos-threads.com. Subscribe, get 15% off your purchase. And again, as always, don't just say what you mean or mean what you say. Say it with your chest.